Distributed coverage optimization for a fleet of unmanned maritime system for a maritime patrol and surveillance application. In order for unmanned maritime system to provide added value for maritime law enforcement agencies, they have to be able to work together as a coordinated team for tasks such as area surveillance and patrolling. Therefore, this paper proposes a methodology that optimizes the coverage of a fleet of unmanned maritime systems and thereby maximizes the chances of noticing threat. Unlike traditional approaches for maritime coverage optimization, which are also used, for example, in search and rescue operation when searching for victims at sea, these approaches takes into consideration the limited seaworthiness of small unmanned systems as compared to traditional large ships by incorporating the danger level in the design of the optimizer. Index term Unmanned Maritime System, Maritime Surveillance, Distributed Coverage Optimization. An ever-increasing percentage of the world population is living in coastal areas. As a result, also more and more criminals are turning to our seas and ocean to carry out illegal activities such as drug smuggling, human trafficking, illegal fishery, and etc. The problem for law enforcement agencies is that patrolling and surveilling all these vast ocean surfaces is impossible with traditional means from an economic and operational point of view. Unmanned Maritime System (UMS) could provide maritime law enforcement agencies with a valuable tool for increasing their capabilities, certainly when they are incorporated in a much wider maritime situational awareness toolkit, encompassing also satellite monitoring, manned and unmanned aerial assets with advanced analytic solutions that can turn the data gathered by all these agents into information and knowledge. One of the main capabilities of the UMS need to possess is the capability to operate together as a well-coordinated group or team working together toward a higher level goal such as maritime surveillance. However, the practical deployment of this novel smaller-scale UMS requires the careful consideration of several aspects related to the design of the surveillance architecture. As an example, the classical approaches toward distributed patrol and surveillance of maritime environment by manned systems do not take into consideration in the effect of small waves, which are irrelevant for larger ships but very important for small UMS. In this paper, we will therefore propose a novel methodology for the real-time control of a fleet of 2 to 10 UMS. The presented methodology is casted as a distributed coverage optimization problem with a specificity that the danger level for the UMS of turning over is effectively estimated in function of the potential trajectories and taken into consideration for the choice of the optimal movement strategy. As a result, optimal safe trajectories for all the agents of the fleet can be planned. We validate the proposed approach in simulation in an application scenario tied to the surveillance of the Belgian offshore windmill park. The Belgian territorial waters are a very densely populated maritime area with reserved spaces for all factors as presented, and it's important that all actors stay within the delimited zone. For the windmill farm, this often presents a problem as other users, fishermen, pleasure yacht sailors, and etc., penetrate the zone without permission. There is thus a need to patrol this area of around 10 kilometers until 30 kilometers. Multi-agent robotic coverage optimization is a research topic which has received a lot of attention in recent years, as more and more robotic assets are being deployed, and thus also the need for coordination among these agents increases. And first distinction to be made between the different methodologies is based upon the type of agent that is taken into consideration. On one hand, there are approaches that tackle swarm of a high number of less intelligent agents. Swarm approaches generally make use of some form of ant colony optimization algorithm for solving the coverage problem. On the other hand, there are multi-agent approaches that deal with a lower amount of more intelligent agents, which is the case in our application. A second important distinction between methodologies is based upon the assumption which is made related to the connectivity between the different agents. If continuous broadband access between the agents is assumed, then all agents can get perfect localization and sensor data from one another, and then the approaches are often based on some kind of global optimization approach with the capability to adapt to a time-dependent environment. Even though it has been shown that finding a globally optimal solution for the coverage maximization of a multi-agent fleet is an NP-hard problem, it is possible to come quite close to this solution within real-time constraints. If, on the other hand, unreliable network connections are assumed, then the agent cannot rely on a global planner and a local optimization is required. This also entails that a distributed approach is required which still allows for timely coordination between the different agents as proposed by Sin et al. In our methodology, adopt a hybrid approach. Conceptually, it is based on a global optimization, but which is executed separately by each of the agents, taking into consideration the latest now data from the other agent. We use spatio-temporal memories to track and predict the localization and sensor data from the other agent in order to cover up communication delays and breakdown. Obviously, these estimations are not perfect, but in this way the optimization scheme tries to adopt the best of both kinds of approaches. Within the robotic community, most attention has been focused on providing solutions to the multi-agent coverage optimization problem for unmanned ground vehicles, but there are certainly also approaches that consider unmanned aerial vehicles. However, for maritime system, the research domain is less developed. Fabry et al. Presented in a path and decision support system for maritime surveillance vessel based on multi-objective optimization algorithm that seek to find an optimal trade-off among several mission objectives. While the concepts are similar, this paper focuses on a high-level decision support system for large manned vessels. In our application, we are interested in developing a solution for small-scale unmanned patrol vessels, which means that the requirements and constraints are very different. Overall framework, the proposed methodology draws inspiration from behavior-based control framework, where multiple behaviors actively work together to control the robot, or in this case, the UMS. The main problem in behavior-based control is how to synergize the different individual behaviors into a consistent and optimal global behavior of the robotic agent. Therefore, we propose in this paper to use an optimization scheme to find the optimal weight, taking into consideration two objectives: increasing the global coverage and thereby increasing the acquisition of new knowledge about the environment, and also minimizing the danger level and thereby minimizing the chance for the vessel to capsize. A major design issue for the development of such an optimization scheme is that the wave parameters to be optimized are subject to a large amount of environmental factors such as the visibility, the wave height, and etc. Therefore, we adopted a dual approach. Thank you.